All right, welcome guys. Happy Friday. We have a 4-game NFL preseason slate to break down here. So in this live stream, I'm going to be doing more general Q&A. So make sure to leave some questions in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any of them. I guess, one piece of news I will start off with is this Jets-Eagles game. It is right now in jeopardy. Possibly could be canceled due to turf issues. There was a lot of rain there. I guess there's issues with the turf. So monitor that one. I think the safe approach obviously is to probably avoid that game unless we get confirmation before lock that it's going to be played. So that is the big piece of news. But yeah, guys, let me know. We have 4 games. Another big piece of news is obviously, or not piece of news, but whether or not Andy Reid trolls us. He didn't troll us last game, but there's a very good chance he could this game, right? The Chiefs starters were all sub 10% owned last slate. They all smashed besides Mahomes. And now there's a chance that they could only play a drive. There's a chance they could play a full half. So it's basically the same breakdown with those Chiefs guys. Looking at the Vegas odds, all projected to be pretty low scoring games besides that Chiefs one, a little bit higher scoring. So yeah, Colts and Lions, 33.5. That is just disgusting. Colts are 2-point favorites. Eagles and Jets, again, weather issues. A lot of starters expected to rest as well, 33.5 over under. Steelers and Panthers, 35 over under. Panthers 2.5-point favorites. And the Vikings, Chiefs, 38.5 over under. Chiefs right now 4-point favorites. But, yeah, guys, leave some questions in the chat. Let me know. Also, if you're just coming in, if you could, leave a like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. What's going on, Tommy? Patrick, how's it going? Yep, just went over that, Alex. Field is drenched. Yeah, some turf issues for sure. So, if we don't get confirmation before lock, the game's going to be played. Right now, I'm going to avoid it. Yeah, let's get it, Andrew. What do you think of Amir Abdullah? I think he's a pretty decent play. Vikings going to rest most of their main guys. So Dalvin Cook not going to play. Madison most likely out. So they have Abdullah. They have A.J. Rose and newly signed Ito Smith should get a majority of the carries in the backfield. Abdullah is probably their best pass-catching back. I would assume he probably starts the game and maybe gets a quarter and a half or so. That's just my guess. So, yeah, I think he's a solid running back play on the slate. Again, he does have that PPR upside, one of the better pass-catching running backs on this slate. Now, with the quarterbacks of Minnesota, like the offense in general, they're probably not going to be able to move the ball that well because all starters are going to rest, and the backup quarterbacks have not fared well so far in the preseason. Yeah, I don't think there's a favorite defense. So, like, the Jets-Eagles game, monitor that. That game's played. I think both defenses are viable because kind of ugly, right? Some turf issues. You can look to the Colts defense. Lions have been god-awful. I think they're going to be the chalk. I think a decent amount of defenses are in play. Again, Lions probably the chalk, but Eagles, Jets, definitely viable too if that game ends up being played. Haskins or Dobbs? So the safe option is probably Haskins. We have both Big Ben and let's go to quarterback. Both Big Ben and Mason Rudolph are out, so Haskins is going to start. Now, we don't know how long he's going to play for exactly. He could play a half. He could play 3 quarters. Now, he's gotten the most runs so far to any of these Pittsburgh quarterbacks in the preseason, so I think there's a chance he plays more than a half, maybe 2.5 to 3 quarters. So Haskins is the safer option, I think. But let's just say this. If I knew both quarterbacks are going to play a full half, I would actually lean towards Dobbs because Dobbs is the guy that can get it done on the ground. So right now, Haskins is the safer option. But if they do both get a full half, I think you can make an argument for Dobbs at lower ownership. Yeah, definitely running backs, right? Unless the team is super, super thin at wide receiver, I want to play 3 running backs. So a lot of variance involved in preseason at wide receiver. Minnesota resting starters and Kansas City starters might play little. Yeah, again, I have no idea what Andy Reid's going to do. He told the truth last week. He's trolled us multiple times in the past. So just proceed with caution, right? The safe way to go for Kansas City is probably don't go crazy in exposure. Maybe you get 1 or 2 pieces from the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Risky, you could load up on the Chiefs and hope they get a full half. Like, if I knew for sure the Chiefs were going to get a full half, I would play Mahomes. I would play Kelsey. And I would probably play at least 1 wide receiver. But there's also a chance they play 1 drive. So based on my same breakdowns last time with the Chiefs, we just don't know. Now, I ended up going with the Chiefs stack last slate because I kind of had a gut feeling that they were going to go unowned. And they did, right? Streveler was 90%. Mahomes was 10% on that slate. Mahomes played 3 times as many snaps as Trevor, and still Trevor outscored him. I'm still tilted about that because the low ownership Mahomes, 3 or 4 drives, and he didn't score a touchdown. Yeah, I think those two are probably good defenses. Both starters expected to rest. Is Reggie Bonifant playing? I'm not 100% sure. Let me do a little Twitter search. Always, if you're questioning whether or not a player is going to play, just Twitter search his name, right? You'll be able to get some updates. Now, sometimes we do get news before lock. Sometimes we don't. Let's see. I'm searching Reggie Bonifant right now on Twitter, and he's been banged up. Panthers not expected to play tonight. McCaffrey, Reggie Bonifant, Rodney Smith. So there you go. Same guys have been out for the Panthers, expected to be out again, right? If we go to the Panthers, McCaffrey's been out, Bonifant, Rod Smith have been out. Same guys are out, so I think Chuba Hubbard makes her a pretty solid play. But yeah, right now, Reggie Bonifant not expected to play. Again, just Twitter search, right? That is the way to tell. Might have missed this. Any updates on Mahomes and the Chiefs? We're not going to get an update. It's just a matter of whether or not Andy Reid trolls us. He said that he wants the starters to get close to a half, but again, if we went over the article, where is this? The added flexibility means that if Reid feels like pulling the first team after a single series, he'll feel comfortable and confident to do so. It seems Andy Reid's comments on playing the starters for the first half are written in pencil rather than written in ink. So use that information for what you will. I don't know what Andy Reid's going to do. I don't know, right? I think the safe way to go is don't go crazy on your Chiefs exposure. Maybe get 1 or 2 pieces. Good stack with Haskins or Dobbs. Well, starters are not expected to play for the Steelers, so more of the backup guys, right? Some guys more on the kind of bottom of the depth chart. We'll see if Washington plays, Boosie, Anthony Johnson, McLeod. Those are all guys that should get a decent amount of work this game if, in fact, the starters are rested, right? We know Big Ben's out. We know Najee Harris is out. I would think those wide receivers don't play either. Me and Colts are going to be the chalk. Colts defense? Is that what you're talking about? I think Colts defense is going to be probably the most popular D, I would say. Yeah, I think that looks pretty decent, right? You're not going crazy on your Chiefs exposure, Gabe. So, yeah. Who's playing their starters, again, if you could remind me? So, not the Colts and Lions. They're resting. Not the Steelers. Panthers starters expected to get about a half. Over a quarter to a half is what we're expecting for the Panthers starters. Eagles starters not expected to play. Jets starters a little bit up in the air. I've seen mixed reports. So right now, just that game in general with the turf issues, I'm probably just going to stay away from mostly. Viking starters are out, and the Chiefs starters could play 1 drive to a half. So right now, it's kind of the Panthers and the Chiefs starters expected to play for, anywhere from a drive or 2 to a half. Mahomes and his guys are going to go against the second-string Minnesota defense. Would think so, right? With most of the Minnesota guys resting, would think it's going to be a lot of the second-string guys for Minnesota. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite. I would just say those guys, not the starters. So 4, 5, 6, 7 in the depth chart, right? We know wide receivers are pretty high variance position. So again, we'll go back to the Steelers. Washington, if he plays, you have Boosie. Anthony Johnson's making a lot of targets in the preseason. You can throw Ray McLeod in there too. So for those 4 wide receivers, I would expect a decent amount of work. And Simmons got cut. So there's a possibility they might only have like 6 receivers available today. We'll see. Again, if you're curious if your guy's going to play or not, Twitter search. We just did that with Reggie Bonifant. We know he's out. You like Hubbard over 35.5 rushing yards. I mean, he probably plays the majority of the first half. That's what we've gotten the first couple games so far from the preseason. So 35.5. If I had to lean one way, probably would lean the over. I can see the Chiefs scoring touchdown. Yeah, right? I could see that too. So the Chiefs starters couldn't get in the end zone last preseason game. But if on their first drive, they drive right down the field and score a touchdown, I would not be surprised at all if that's it. They're done for the day. Still deciding on it. I'm still deciding on what I want to do with Mahomes. There's a chance he plays 1 drive. So I don't want to play Mahomes if he gets a drive. Now, if he gets a full half, it's probably going to be the quarterback you need. Got Abdullah and Hubbard. Other running backs look good. Yeah, I think those 2 look pretty solid. A lot of other running backs went over on Patreon. Is Dobbs in play? Yeah, Dobbs. If you think Haskins only gets a half, then you can roll the dice on Dobbs. He's got the rushing upside. No, I would think Haskins plays a little bit more than a half. He's been the quarterback getting the most runs so far in the preseason for the Steelers. So, yeah. Guys, if you're just coming in, if you could, leave a like button. We're closing in 100 concurrent viewers. Only 20 likes. Let's try to get that to 50 likes before I get out of here. I'll be live for another 15 minutes answering any questions. Yeah, tight end. I mean, those Chiefs guys, right? You got Kelsey. Even Noah Gray is a guy that is very, very good pass-catching young guy. Haskins, May, Snell, Hardman, Pat. Yeah, no, I think it looks pretty safe. Looks pretty safe. You're not going crazy in your Chiefs exposure. You have Hardman in there. Ellinger or Eason. For me, I'd rather go Ellinger. Eason's played better, but Ellinger's got the rushing upside. Our defense starters playing, if not which positions? Our defense starters playing. A lot of the defensive starters are resting, right? The offensive starters that are playing, we know, are Carolina and Kansas City. So would think their starting defense plays for a little bit too. But yeah, most teams going with the backups here on the slate. Sam Darnold in play. Right now we know he's going to play over a quarter, anywhere from over a quarter to a half. So somewhere in that, maybe 1.5 to 2 quarters. Yeah, definitely in play, right? If you can get a quarterback playing close to a half, they're looking pretty good on a preseason slate. Washington and Claypool starting. So Claypool's in. Let's see. Coach Tomlin said we'll see Chase Claypool and James Washington tonight when Haskins makes his start. Okay. So how much do they play, though, right? How much does Claypool and Washington play? They could get one drive. And yeah, I'm a little bit surprised Claypool actually is playing. Been a little bit banged up. But yeah, so Claypool, Washington, definitely in play. It's a matter of how long are they going to be out there for. LeMay or Snell. Probably lean to LeMay. Thanks, DK. Yeah. Look at the Darnold Robbie Anderson pairing. Yeah, if starters get close to half there, which they're expected to get around that, then I think that's definitely valuable. Right, not many teams are playing their starters. So if you can get your wide receiver playing with a starting quarterback, that's obviously a big boost. Funny, too, on Prize Picks, we took the under on PJ Walker at 7.1, and that's all the way down. I haven't refreshed it, but it's down to like 5 right now. We have really moved that line in PJ Walker. Yeah, so my question, I'll answer that with a question for yourself. Do you think the Chiefs starters play a half? If that's the case, you go Kelsey. If you think Andy Reid trolls us, just go Noah Gray. Let me know if you guys see any updates, too, on that Jets game, right? Turf issues, let's see. All right, we'll just monitor that. But that's definitely important because we could have some good plays in that game if it is going to be played. So do we know the status of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams? I don't know if we know that news yet. Right, because both practiced a couple days ago, but I don't know if they would risk injury in this game. Let's take a look. See if we have any news here. All right. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet. So right now we'll just monitor the Chiefs situation because if both Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams are out, they're going to be thin at running back, right? We have Darwin Thompson, McKinnon, and Gore could become very good plays. So let's just wait on that one, right? I'm from Kansas City. Mahomes and first-team offense will play 3 to 4 series, but Reed said Mahomes scores a touchdown, then it will be done. Can you link that? Where did you see that if he scores a touchdown, they will be done? Is that on Twitter? So I guess if you do play the Chiefs starters, what you would want would be, 2 drives down the field but can't score, and then like the third drive they end up scoring a touchdown. That would probably be optimal. But I haven't seen that exact quote. I saw Andy Reid could pull him after series if he feels like it. Oh, sports radio? Okay. Darnold Haskins. So I think Haskins plays a little bit more, be my guess, because we got that Darnold somewhere over a quarter to a half. We got Haskins for sure is going to play at least a half. So the safer option probably is Haskins. All right, guys, you got anything else for me? I can stay on for a few more minutes. Let me know. Any other questions? Again, right now the big question marks are, Eagles, Jets, do they play? And how long do the Chiefs starters play for? Those are the 2 question marks we have at the moment. Most other teams resting their starters. Again, Carolina starters are expected to play anywhere from over a quarter to a half. Yeah, McKinnon or LeMay, so it depends on the status of the other Chiefs running backs. So right now I'll say LeMay, but if we have news that both Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams are going to be out, then I would lean McKinnon. Yeah, so that just wanted to keep an eye on. But yeah, Benny LeMay has been the guy getting the most work so far in the preseason for the Colts. So at the moment it's him, but if we get news that both those other Chiefs running backs are out, I think you got to lean McKinnon. Totally agree with this. Looks like we're getting some spam in the chat, so get hidden. Yeah, I just went over that a little bit ago for the Steelers. So there's no standout. You have Washington Claypool starting. I think guys like Boosie, Anthony Johnson in the second half, or even later in the first half could be options as well. All right, guys. Well, seems like that's about it for questions. So appreciate you coming out and checking the live stream. Good luck. Enjoy these games. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. We have another slate on Saturday. So I'll see you guys all then.